name is Sandra. Let me know where you're from. Put it in the chat.
All right, good evening, everyone. We want to welcome our NCNW members, our national board members, NCNW affiliates, friends and family. Welcome to our virtual graduation party. We want to say a special thank you to our DJ, Neek Nice, for opening us up to start this occasion. My name is Ariane Jamerson. I'm one of the tri-chairs of the Committee of Young Adult and Collegiate Affairs. You will also hear from the other tri-chairs tonight, Shara Denton and Ariana Brazier, later in the program. We have two amazing speakers you will hear from tonight, our 8th National President, Dr. Thelma T. Daly, and our special guest, Ms. Beverly Smith. To honor our roots and our immediate past president, Dr. Janetta Besh Cole, I'm going to open up with an African proverb. If you are building a house and a nail breaks, do you stop building or do you change the nail? We are gathered here tonight as we want to acknowledge our wonderful graduates. We know that through the pandemic, they have withstood virtual learning, going back to class, and all the other adjustments at a college as well. So we want to give them a special warm welcome tonight in honor of their accomplishments and to make sure that we know that the hard work they have done over the past 4 years is greatly acknowledged and appreciated, and knowing that they have put so much effort into reaching their goals in the future. So we want to welcome tonight our special 2022 graduates. We will first hear from Dr. Thelma T. Daly. She is a distinguished educator. Excuse me one second. She's a distinguished council educator, organization leader, and administrator, and a college professor. She is an American Counseling Associate Fellow and National Board Certified Counselor. In her career world, she completed a long successful tenure with the Baltimore County Public Schools and directed the counseling program for 163 schools. At Loyola University in Maryland, she served as assistant professor in the graduate school and coordinator of clinical experience. She has also served as an adjunct professor in her alma mater, George Washington University. She served as an instructor at the Harvard University Summer Institute for Counselors. She was appointed to the National Advisory Council of Career Education under the Office of the Secretary of Education and became the first woman to be chair of the council. She is a graduate of Bowie State University, New York University, and George Washington University. She has pursued additional studies at Catholic University, American University, and the University of Maryland. Her advocacy for equity and excellence has been reflected in her many national, state, and local roles prior to her presidential position with NCNW. She has served as president of 4 national organizations. She served as the first African-American president of the American School Council Association, representing the magnitude of school counselors in the United States. Later, she broke the racial barriers when she became president of the American Counseling Association, the largest association in the world, international in scope and representing a wide variety of counseling groups. She has served as president of the Women in Community Service, WICS, and a coalition of the National Council of Jewish Women, the National Council of Catholic Women, Church Women United, and Hispanic Women, and the National Council of Negro Women. WICS focuses on helping girls to gain skills and jobs, mainly through job courts. She also served as the 16th national president of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, whose purpose are to engage in cultural, education, social action, and service activities. She has also served on the board of many other organizations. For several years, she has served as the National Director of Women in NAACP, WIN. She has held many local positions. She has conducted workshops or given speeches to groups throughout the United States, in Europe, Africa, and Japan. She is a recipient of numerous awards and recognitions. She was inducted into the BGE and Baltimore Sun 2020 Business and Civic Hall of Fame. She is widely recognized for her organizational leadership skills, especially her training skills and her ability to motivate and inspire people. She has a strong civic and human rights advocacy record and gives freely of her time and skills to empower others. It gives me great pleasure to now turn over the program to our 8th National President, Dr. Thelma T. Daly.
Thank you, Ms. Jameson. Thank you. Thank you so very, very much. Thank you. And how are you? I just left you in board meeting about an hour ago. Is that right?
Yes, it's been a busy day for NCNW.
It's been a very busy day. Each day is a busy day for the National Council of Negro Women. Well, I want to say what a wonderful, wonderful occasion this is. And to greet all of you, all out there, I don't know where you are, but to greet you on this glorious evening and this special, special celebration here. You know, it's a party. And I have to tell you, first, I thought it was graduation, and I had to laugh at myself. I said, oh, it's graduation. I'm going to pull out my cap and gown and be very official on this. And then I went back and I looked at it. I said, oh, it's a party. No, I don't put on a cap and gown and be official that way. But I have to tell you, my cap and gown, I did pull out of the closet. It had been in there for a long time, and it's stretched out on my bed in the other room. So you can laugh at me, Miss Jameson, but I was going to be very, very official. But you know, graduation at all levels brings joy and suspense and a bit of nervousness. And for just to think that here we have persons on here who have graduated and who have reached a special, special milestone. Let's stop a moment and let's give them all a hand. Wherever you are, let's give them a hand. Let's give them a hand, okay? And I'm messing up my hair too. And so as I speak on behalf of the 2 million women represented in NCNW, I want each of you, the graduates, to know just how proud you make us. For you epitomize the great legacy of a thirst for education that our venerable founder, Dr. Mary McLeod Bethune, left us. And I want to pause just a moment because I want to extend appreciation to Ms. Denton, Ms. Jameson, and Dr. Brazier for organizing this very special, memorable occasion. Let's give them a hand because sometimes we don't express appreciation enough, okay? And I also would like to extend appreciation to our staff for their never ending support. You know, sometimes we call them at 6 o'clock in the evening and sometimes we call them at 11 o'clock at night. And they've been on all day long and they are still here with us. And then I would like to express appreciation to the parents, to other family members, and to all of the supporters who have helped all of you graduates to get where you are today. And a special, special note of appreciation to Mrs. Beverly Smith for consenting to be the speaker. Now, I just want to say how propitious it is for this event to occur just as we are about to celebrate the 147th birthday of our founder, Dr. Mary McLeod Bethune, and the unveiling of her statue. Let me go back. And the unveiling of her statue in Statuary Hall in the capital of the United States of America. What an unbelievable tribute to a little Black girl born of slave parents who grew up in 1890 to 1994, where the lives of American people were plagued with legalized segregation as mandated through the 1896 Supreme Court decision of Plessy versus Ferguson. Imagine what's going to happen on July the 13th. Can you feel the power of that? Can you feel it? Can you feel it? Because that's very, very powerful in recognition of our founder. So, no matter the circumstances surrounding Dr. Bethune's life, she never dwelt on what was not. What was not. Her courage, her vision, and her belief in self were undaunted. And as a Black woman, she never dimmed her dreams. And I know that all of our graduates have reached this major milestone because you had dreams. And possibly you had many challenges, but you must have kept your dreams alive. And you also must have had a vision. So let me stop right here because something just crossed my mind. And I think our speaker will laugh at this because when I talk about vision, and you must have had vision, but one of our colleagues, and I think our speaker knows our colleagues, always has a little joke, a little something to tell. And I remember one of the stories she told about the little girl and the watermelon. And I can tell the story because my grandfather on my mother's side, had a beautiful watermelon patch. And I remember as a little girl going in, looking at all those pretty watermelons and asking Grandpa, could we have this big watermelon? He would say, no, not that one. But one day this little girl came to buy some watermelons and she had $1. And she would ask him, can I have that one? How much is that one? And he said, that one's $3. And she said, no, not that one. Well, what about this one, which was this size? First, she wanted one this size. And she said, well, what about this one? He said, that one is $2.50. He said, well, what about this one? He said, that's $2. Then he said, what about this one? And he said, well, that one is $1. She said, I'll take that one. And when he started to cut it from the vine, she said, no, don't cut that watermelon. And Grandpa said, I thought you wanted the watermelon. She said, I do want the watermelon. But when it gets as big as that one, I'm going to come back and get it. You just keep it till I come back and get it. So she had vision, and Mrs. Bethune had vision. And I know you too have vision. And the vision also reminds me of a story that I read this week, and most of you may have read the story. It dealt with the first Black mountain climbers in history to reach the top of Mount Everest in Asia, the tallest mountain in the world. Just think about that. These Black climbers, first in history, climbed Mount Everest, 29 feet in the air. And they did it because they had a vision. They climbed that mountain no matter how rugged it was, no matter how cold and slippery it was, because they had a dream. They did it because they dreamed it. They did it because they believed they could do it. They did it because they trained. They did it because they bonded as a team. They did it because they replaced fear with faith and courage. I have a strong feeling that many of the attributes of Dr. Bethune may be embedded in your journeys. Those of you who are moving on, embedded. Her attributes of courage and faith and vision. I have no doubt, like the first Black climbers to get to the top of Mount Everest, that you too are climbers. And although your goal may not be Mount Everest, I do believe you will reach your desired mountaintop too. And so on behalf of 2 million women represented in the National Council of Negro Women, I offer you sincere congratulations and deep-rooted blessings as you climb your mountain that stands before you today and will be there tomorrow. Blessings to all. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Daly. Good evening, my sisters and visitors. I am Shara Denton. I serve as another tri-chair for the Young Adult and Collegiate Affairs Committee, and I'm also the National Health Equity Chair. And before I speak about our amazing speaker this evening, I want to recognize our immediate past president and chair, Dr. Janetta Cole, who surprised us today with her presence. So hi, Dr. Cole. Thank you for joining us. You look beautiful as always.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
Good to see you. Thank you so much. And now I have the distinct honor of recognizing and speaking briefly about our guest speaker, who was very gracious and really sweet and accommodating to join us this evening. Beverly Evans Smith is the 26th National President of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. While serving in this role, she restructured the corporate board and headquarters operations, initiated the documentation of all business operations, added a new revenue streams, and significantly increased membership. She also served as the organization's elected National First Vice President, National Secretary, and was previously employed as Delta Sigma Theta's Executive Director, leading their headquarters business function. Smith retired from the Technical College System of Georgia as the Assistant Commissioner and Georgia State Director for Adult Education and GED Testing in 2018. In this role, she provided adult education training programs for an average of 69,000 Georgia citizens annually, with a staff of over 1,200 educators and support staff at 450 sites across the state. She was also responsible for the administration of all Georgia GED testing and supported local literacy action groups throughout the state of Georgia. In addition, Ms. Smith served as 2015-2017 chair of the National Association of State Directors in Adult Education and was testified before the U.S. Senate Help Committee, representing the issues faced by adults with literacy challenges. As an entrepreneur, Ms. Smith is also Senior Vice President of the HR Group Incorporated, a management consulting firm she has co-owned with her husband, Stephen, for over 30 years. As a corporate manager, Smith spent 18 years in leadership positions with AT&T, also known as Southern Bell, implementing innovative business processes during her tenure. Her skill sets include demonstrated expertise in organizational effectiveness, business operation redesign, and restructure and strategic planning. During that time, she also served as a member of the 1994 AT&T Malcolm Baldrige Award-winning team in the area of human resources. Prior to her corporate work, Smith spent several years as university administrator in various capacities. She is a prolific motivational speaker in the areas of leadership and change management. She also served on the board of directors of the Delta Research and Education Foundation, that we know as DREF, and as a national affiliate leader of the National Council of Negro Women, of which she is a life member. She serves on the Bowling Green State University Student Affairs Leadership Council. A long-term community volunteer, Ms. Smith served 8 years as the chair of the Cobb County Board of Elections and Registration, and on various community boards, including the Atlanta Area Council Boy Scouts of America, the Cobb County United Way, and Girls Incorporated. She has been a co-chair for the Leadership Cobb, as well as served on the board of directors for Chattahoochee Technical College and the alumni board of directors for Bowling Green State University, where she chairs its strategic planning committee. She is a recipient of numerous honors and awards, and was a recipient of the Phoenix Award in 2022, which is the highest honor an individual or group can receive from the mayor of Atlanta. She is also a recipient of the Network Journal 25 Influential Black Women in Business Award, was named the 2020 Georgia Outstanding Individual by Georgia General Assembly, and the Lead 360 Business Organizations Executive of the Year for 2020-2021. In addition, she has received the UNCF Maya Angelou Women's Who Leads Award, her alma mater, Bowling Green State University, named her the 2018 class of the Academy of Distinguished Alumni, and she was honored by the St. Louis Urban League and Urban League Guild with a Lifetime Achievement Award in 2017. Miss Beverly and her husband Stephen have been married for 50 years. The Smiths have two married children, one son, Brian, married to Rashawn Ali Smith, daughter Stacy, who's married to Dr. Jason Frazier, and 5 grandchildren. I now present to you our speaker for the evening, Beverly E. Smith.
Thank you, Shar. I truly appreciate that. Too bad you read all that stuff. You add up the years, you can figure that out, but thank you anyway. It is so good to be here this evening. To the National Council of Negro Women's 8th National Chair, Dr. Thelma Daly. To NCNW's immediate past National Chair, the distinguished Dr. Janetta Cole, who I'm so happy to be able to join us tonight. To all of the national leadership, state leaders, members of NCNW's national affiliate organizations present tonight, I offer my greetings to you, my sisters. To the members of NCNW sections who are in the audience tonight, and the proud families and friends of graduates who are with us for this virtual celebration of excellence, good evening, and thank you for your presence. Now, you know, last but not least, I have to say my heartiest congratulations to the dedicated, educated, graduated, highly rated, liberated, animated, celebrated, and never duplicated NCNW graduating class of 2022. Congratulations and woohoo, as we say. Now, before I share a few words, I do have to take the time to thank Shar Denton for having me join you tonight, one of the tri-chairs for NCNW's Committee on Adult Education, a young adult, I'll get that right, and collegiate affairs, for inviting me to be your commencement speaker. You know, it's hard to turn down NCNW, and so there was no way I could not join you tonight. You know, when I said yes to her request, it immediately brought to mind the ironic fact that I was the commencement speaker for my graduation from Bowling Green State University in Ohio. Now, I have to share, that was 52 years ago. And in 1970, the number of Black students at Bowling Green's campus was about less than 1%. But while that percentage has changed a bit, I can't say that the crises we face are any different today than they were in June of 1970. I wish I could. Ironic is a fitting word because in May of that year, college campuses all across the country were facing another momentous time in history when unthinkable events happened. Racial tensions were high all over the country in the wake of Dr. Martin Luther King's assassination in 1968. Controversial president was in office. We'd had one of those before, Richard Milhouse Nixon. We were involved in an untenable war in Vietnam. Student protest, which led the National Guard to be called out in Ohio, led to the death of 4 students on Kent State's campus, just 2 hours away from Bowling Green. 11 days later, student riots at Jackson State University in Mississippi provoked the police presence on campus, resulting in the death of 2 students and injury to 12 others. After those instances, more than 4 million students participated in organized walkouts in hundreds of universities and colleges and high schools across the country, the largest said strike in US history, if not the world. Students felt that their college campuses and schools were not a safe place to be. Sound familiar? And think about this for a moment. It's amazing how much human ingenuity in our world has done so much for us in good ways in the past 52 years. But 52 years later, human nature basically is still the same. The environment of racial tension, political chaos, there was violence or a lack of enforcement or interest in terms of law enforcement. Students on campuses and schools everywhere were living in a pandemic of fear. As a student leader, the message I gave to my class, so what did I tell the class of 1970 in troubled times? Now, unbelievable as it may seem, while I couldn't find the entire commencement speech I found, what I did find were my handwritten notes and the draft of that speech in a box in my basement. And yes, that means I need to clean out my basement. But the 52-year-old paper was still there in amazingly good shape. And my handwriting was legible then, which is more than I can say for my handwriting now. The challenge that senior Beverly Ann Evans gave to her class in 1970 is the same class that I share now in 2022. So what did I say? I told my class that we cannot merely observe what's happening in our world, that we must either participate in trying to correct what we feel is wrong, or at minimum, try to widen the narrow minds that existed in society. I urged my classmates to be courageous and to find their individual voices. I said that because we had a chance to be blessed with an education, we had to use and be responsible to make sure we use what we learned to create the world we wanted to see. And to the university administrators and parents, I shared that while they may not agree with what young adults were doing or how they express themselves, I simply asked that they make an effort to understand why we do what we do and to give us the independence to be ourselves. Yes, even back in the day, I believed in being a change agent. So what personal messages did I learn since my graduation day? After years of experience and leadership, through the ups and downs of my life, and having to humbly acknowledge the mistakes I've made along the way, I've tempered my actions a bit and changed my approach most of the time. But what has not tempered or changed is my zeal for life and my passion for social justice and fair play. You will find, my dear graduates, let's say 10 to 20 years from now, after graduation, that what seemed to be the end of the world was merely the beginning of a new chapter. So embrace change now. You will find that you are still the same you. So get comfortable with yourself now. You will find that stepping out of your comfort zone will not only allow you to willingly accept what God has put in your path and open the door for finding your purpose. So don't fear stepping out now. He's got you, as long as you remember who you are, whose you are, and why you are. You know, I wrote that message for you, and I thought about an unexpected phone call as I was writing it that I got from a dear friend and a longtime relative, a friend that we knew that I hadn't seen for quite a while. He was a friend and a spouse. As a matter of fact, the last time we saw my friend and the spouse together was at the funeral for their son a little over 2 years ago. The call was from a husband to tell me that Rose, his wife, had died after a long illness from an incurable disease. We knew it was coming, but it's never easy. In this case, the man had lost one of his 2 sons and his wife of 50 years, less than 15 months apart. This call and the situation took me back to the experience we had when my husband and I attended the son, Brian was his name, his graveside funeral with his family. Brian was a young man of about 40. We'd known him since he was 4 years old. Brian and my daughter Stacy used to play in the dirt together at baseball games, supposedly watching their older brothers as they worked for their championship Little League team. Each of those babies lived in worlds of their own. As they grew up, and after years of our families going to Cub Scout and Boy Scout events together, to weddings, to special events, to bar mitzvahs, we saw Brian grow into a brilliant, independent spirit who traveled the world from the time he was in college. His parents always told us about Brian's one-of-a-kind adventures and his humanity towards a diversity of people, the incredible risk he took, traveling the globe as he considered it to be his great adventure. Even as a young man who was about your age, Brian owned a company, PG Computing. He was an entrepreneur, a brilliant computer programmer, and an accomplished photographer. He also spent much of his time in volunteering as a bush pilot. But Brian was no ordinary pilot. He spent his time and his energy flying into remote areas of Tanzania and Guyana to bring medical supplies and personnel to provide healthcare and food in underserved populations. He worked around the globe, usually in philanthropic pursuits. Brian was a selfless young man who loved the world in which he lived. Yes, he was a role model for anybody who understands the meaning of bringing the light of love to others. He also spent 3 summers working in the United States Antarctica program, which is where he died, alone in his room, of unknown causes. After the autopsy that his parents did not want to have done, but had to because he died overseas, the coroner said that this young man's heart simply stopped beating. It was his time. Now, the reason I share that story is because I want to tell you about a letter that was read at Brian's funeral. The letter speaks to all of us in service, regardless of who we are or what faith we follow. And the amazing thing is that the letter was written by Brian himself. You see, Brian lived an adventurous but dangerous life that took him in harm's way into dangerous terrains. He always thought that God would take him back before his parents' time. And for that reason, he had written a letter to them several years ago, which he sent to a friend in the States, asking that it be delivered to his parents at the time of his death. His brother, David, shared that letter with us at the graveside service. In summary, Brian told them not to be sad. It was his time. He wrote that he had lived the life he loved, helping those in need all over the world, which gave him joy. He fulfilled what he knew was God's purpose for him in his lifetime. As Proverbs said, let your life reflect your heart, which I believe means that we must let our life reflect God's intended purpose for us. And as tough as it is to understand that, I also believe that each of us will know and feel when we have lived that kind of life. No matter what hills and valleys there may be, what issues we suffered during the current pandemic of deadly disease, heightened racism, unnecessarily violence that we now see going on, financial and economic disaster, educational inequities in our community, and the depression intensified by the need for social distancing. Whatever you face, if you have that gut feel that God will not forsake you, but has a purpose for the joys and the trials in your life, then you'll be like Brian and find peace with your lot. With that message as a backdrop, let me share with you a quote from K.L. Toth that says, one of the greatest tragedies in life is to lose one's own sense of self and accept a version of yourself that is expected by everybody else. What I learned over the years that in finding your voice and maintaining your own self of sense takes courage. It comes from being comfortable with who you are and a self-awareness of the gifts that God gave you. Now, let me be clear. Being comfortable with who you are is not making you feel better than other people. It's about self-acceptance of our looks, our bodies, our strengths, our weaknesses. It's about not allowing the put-downs of a bully or social media posts or other actions define you. They are not you. Only you can define you. It's about working to be okay with yourself as God created you and deciding to be happy with the gifts God gave you, whatever they may be. So how will you know your gifts? There are things for which you have a passion, or which comes easy to you while others find them hard. Things like speaking in public, creating art or music, it comes second nature, making friends easily, the love of children, which is not a gift that everyone has, leading others, offering to help yourself with others and to help others without hesitation. Excelling in a field that's tough for others becomes easy to you. The willingness to try new things when others hesitate, or being okay when others criticize, laugh at, or belittle you because you know that's their problem, not yours. These things may seem simple, but they are the talents and the skills meant for just you. Humbly accept them, wisely guard them, and thoughtfully use them for good. Make them your own voice and allow them to define you as the strong, unique woman only you can be. And so as I close, I go back to where I started with my remarks today, giving you 3 charges. First of all, remember the charge I gave my class 52 years ago, which is still very valid, unfortunately, and live your life as young Brian did. Even in the midst of the challenges we face during this pandemic of physical and mental health, of heightened racism, of financial distress, don't let your current circumstances rule your life, but stay focused on the joy in the morning that God promises by letting go and letting God direct your path and direct your purpose. Now, I know how hard that is, but I will share. I have had many days when letting go and letting God has been my only saving grace. You know, I recently read another quote that says this, and it goes, Everybody who lives dies, but not everybody who dies lives. Don't be fearful of living. Live what you feel is your purpose, even if it means getting out of your comfort zone every now and then. Secondly, remember the legacies you inherited and the ways to honor them. Just look at the incredible leaders of NCNW. You have inherited their legacy, and you inherit that by being a part of this 87-year-old organization. This is what you've inherited and in whose footsteps you can follow. One of the most important Black educators, civil rights and women's leaders and government officials in the 20th century, advisor to Franklin Delano Roosevelt, and the only woman of color at the table for the founding of the United Nations, NCNW founder, Mary McLeod Bethune. Fighter for racial equity and women's healthcare, pioneer, gynecologist, presidential appointee under John F. Kennedy, Dr. Dorothy Bolden Farabee. Visionary leader, Vivian Carter Mason, who created the NCNW structure organization of sections. Known as a giant among civil rights movement who knew every president since Dwight David Eisenhower, recipient of both the Citizens Medal Award from President Reagan and the Congressional Medal of Honor for President George W. Bush, and inducted into the Democracy Hall of International Fame. NCNW's 40-year President Emerita, Dorothy Irene Height. Educator, administrator, spiritual leader, Dr. Barbara L. Shaw. Transformational global leader who redefined best-in-class global philanthropy and community connections, Ingrid Saunders Jones. Renowned anthropologist, educator, museum director, college president, the extraordinary Dr. Janetta Besh-Cole, and the dynamic civil and social action leader who served as a barrier breaker, becoming the first woman to chair the National Advisory Council on Career Education, the first Black president of the American School Counselor Association, the first woman to chair the National Advisory Council on Career Education by presidential appointment, and 2020 honoree in the Baltimore Sun's Business and Civic Hall of Fame. Each pioneers in their own right and in their own way. Each used their gift as they saw fit. And I'm sure they had no idea the impact they have in the long run. Sometimes, my beautiful graduates, you will never know the value of a moment until it becomes a memory. It doesn't matter how great or small you think your gift may be. My only ask of you is that you try to give yourself the freedom to try and use those gifts. Every choice is a chance, and every chance is an opportunity. Lastly, I charge you, be good to yourself so that you can be good to others. Self-care is not a selfish act. It is simply good personal stewardship. Don't be your own worst enemy and sacrifice the only thing you have, your body, your heart, and your soul, that allows you to help other people if you have to help yourself. Every now and then, take time to take care of you. The last words I'll share with you are the words of NCNW founder, the incomparable Mary McLeod Bethune, who said this, and it's so appropriate for graduates. To those of you with years of service still ahead, the challenge is yours. Stop doubting yourself. Have the courage to make up your minds and hold your decisions. Refuse to be bought for a nickel, for $1 million, or for a job. Congratulations, graduates. In the days ahead, take care, and by all means, stay safe. God bless you all.
Thank you for such inspiring words. Thank you for your time, your energy, and for that final note on self-care as personal stewardship. I think that's a lesson that many of us struggle to learn, but the sooner that we can be an advocate for ourselves, the better and more holistic we can live as a community, as a collective. So thank you again. Hi, everyone. I'm Ariana Brazier. I go by Ari, and I am the third tri-chair of this committee. And at this time, I want to share about our transition plan that we have developed and we shared this time last year, and that is also in the works. So our transition plan consists of 3 primary phases. And the core purpose is to transition college students into community-based sections after graduation to address the participation of young women in the organization in order to establish intergenerational collaboration and maintain intergenerational collaboration. So in phase 1, we're inviting community-based sections, or we're challenging, inviting, encouraging community-based sections to invite collegiate section members to volunteer on a community-based event and or serve on a committee. So the goal here is to have community-based sections begin extending the olive branch to college students so that collegiate section members will have had a participatory role in community-based sections and an idea and understanding of their function and their place in these collective spaces. The goal on the collegiate section end is to host an initiative for the community-based section members to attend, to build upon relationships and inform your programs and events. So this is a 2-way street. It's a bi-directional challenge that we are issuing, in which both community-based and collegiate sections are being asked to extend the olive branch to each other. Graduating seniors will register with the national office, our national office, with their post-graduation plans and locations so they can be matched with the appropriate community-based section. Phase 2, the national office will send out a congratulatory announcement, which hopefully everyone on this call who is graduating received, and they will be invited to join community-based sections. And so student membership will then be extended for their first year of post-graduation. And so basically, we will be ensuring that they can maintain an active status in their community-based section without any financial barriers or restraints as they transition out of college into the community. So the responsibilities of the community-based section is to conduct outreach to a list of graduate members that will be located in their area and host a reception or a fellowship, some sort of social in the months of September or October, specifically with the purpose of inviting and receiving these new graduates. This will be an opportunity to pair young members with older members and begin establishing mentorship and sisterly sibling relationships. The responsibility of the young adult member, the recent graduate, is to fulfill the preset number of hours of service to their section and to participate in events, meetings, committees, basically to maintain an actively engaged role in their community-based section. And in the final phase, phase 3, community-based sections are being asked to set up a fund to help support young adult members that need membership sponsorship. A national universal criteria will be set, including a number of meetings, committees, and events to complete in order to maintain their status, and the set number of sponsorships the section can financially support. So as the young adult member becomes further engaged, they will be asked to complete these requirements, the aforementioned requirements, in order to maintain their active status on sponsorship or on scholarship. And then finally, by year 4, the goal is that the young adult member will be able to sustain themselves and their membership and their role in this community-based section. So it's a 4-part plan that we have a transition committee actively working towards the execution of. And we're excited to see the gap between our recent graduates and our community-based sections close as we move forward. So once again, we are asking that all graduating seniors, if you know any graduating seniors in your sections, that they please fill out their post-graduation forms and share their plans with us. All graduating seniors will be receiving a gift specifically from this committee and national headquarters in the weeks ahead. With that, we're going to go ahead and begin building and bridging these connections that we're hoping to see in our community-based sections. with a few minutes to network in small breakout rooms.
maybe.
All right, it looks like we are all back from the breakout session. We are so glad we had this time to have those one-on-ones so we can check in with each other. So hopefully you met a new NCNW sister tonight. You were able to connect. I know I just met someone in my group who's actually from California who just finished her EDD. And I'm like, wait a minute, that's gonna be my next journey. So I definitely need to connect with her. So we will definitely try to exchange in the chat now that we're back in the main room. But that is what the importance of having these breakout sessions are, so that way we can connect one-on-one, because we know in these big groups, when you see 60, 80, 100 people on the line, you're like, how am I going to connect one-on-one? So that's why we really liked having those short little sessions just to have some one-on-one. And like I said, hopefully you met a new NCNW sister, affiliate, and friend that you can connect with more with NCNW. So at this time, I would just want to check in to see if our other Chai Chair, Ari, is online. I think she was going to try to wrap us up for this portion of the evening. Okay. All right, I know she is also handling motherhood, as we heard wonderful little remix in the background. So we'll keep the show moving. If she does come back on, she will close us out. But we also have the pleasure tonight of hearing from our National Executive Director, Miss Janice Mathis. She is amazing, amazing, amazing. NCNW would not be where we are right now without her. So without further ado, we're just going to hear from Miss Janice Mathis to give us a charge and let us know what it is that NCNW wants from us as far as young women and as being the college graduates. So at this time, I now welcome our wonderful Executive Director, Miss Janice Mathis, Esquire.
Well, Miss Ariane, you certainly know how to make me feel good. I'm going to get to what we expect out of our graduates and our membership in just a minute, but I must say to Dr. Daly and to Dr. Cole, you inspire us each and every time. Just seeing your faces makes us smile. And to my Sarah Bear Smith, who is now free to wear purple since she's no longer constrained to crimson and cream. It's always wonderful to hear from you. So inspiring, so delightful. And to my dear precious graduates, oh my goodness, if you knew how much we love and appreciate you, you would be embarrassed, because, and it's a selfish kind of love, because you give us permission to see what we have accomplished. We look at you and we see accomplishment. We see success. We see that we played a tiny little role in your success. It makes us feel that our lives are worthwhile, that we've done something worthy. I didn't know Dr. Cole was going to be on here tonight, but there is a proverb that says, the worlds of the elders do not lock all the doors. They leave the right door open.
Oh, she's on your phone. I was ready. She's on.
That's a Zambian proverb. And when I thought about that, what doors are we leaving open? The doors to our hearts, the doors to NCNW, the doors to success, the doors to whatever assistance or advice we can give you in any way. We want to be that bridge that helps you make that transition. I know for me, it was a tough transition from college student to grown up with a career. It took a couple of years to get it right and figure it out. We want you to have the benefit of whatever it is that we have that we can give to you. We want you to leave the door open to play, and leave the door open to love, and leave the door open to friendship, and close the doors to grief and sorrow and recrimination and self-doubt. You're not imposters, you're the real deal. We love you. Now, in terms of what we want from you, you gotta register and vote. Especially if you're in one of these swing states, you got to register and vote. If you've watched any of these hearings, and I commend you to watch some of the January 6th hearings. You know, January the 5th, the news is a funny thing. If it hadn't been for January the 6th, on January the 6th, we would have been celebrating Raphael Warnock having won the United States Senate race. That would have been the top of the news. That would have been the news for the rest of the week. But instead, we had to deal with January the 6th and insurrection. And so I need you to vote. I also need you to make good decisions about COVID. It's not quite gone. And we may have to deal with it a few more months. Take care of yourselves, get your checkups, get your screenings, do the things that Bev has already said, and Dr. Daly and Dr. Cole always talks about taking care of yourselves so that you can be of service to others. And apart from that, give yourself permission to be who you want to be. You're not a copy of anybody. You've got all the right stuff. Just be courageous about it. And you know what? Some people won't like it. Some people won't get you. Some people will have not so flattering things to say and to think. And it's not that you dismiss them, but you hear that still small voice in your own heart and your own mind, your own faith that will take you through all of life. And there will be calamities. People will leave you and they will disappoint you, and some of them will die, and it will be sad, but you're resilient. And we want you to remember this time in your life as a time of infinite promise and possibility, and know that you are loved and appreciated. So that's about all I have to say this evening. We adore you. We hope you'll take advantage of that 4-year plan. And I'm so grateful to Liddy. I'm so grateful to Ariane and Dr. Ari, and to all the committee members who are here, and to Ms. Shara for the work that you have done to make this plan a reality. It means a lot. This is how NCNW will achieve another 85 years. This is how we will continue to be a presence and do the good work, because we'll do it through you.
Thank you, Ms. Janice.
You're welcome.
Before we conclude, I do want to acknowledge all of our Two Lady Committee members. So from our youth section, we have Kira Butler, Dominique Lowe, Elena Rambert, and our collegiate members, Courtney Hancock, Mackenzie Jackson, Shamadi McClendon, Honey McComb, Alexis Montero, Ruth Samuel, Christina Stevens, and Kelsey Watson. And of our young adult women's members, we have Alma Boating, Eliza Brooks, Sagira Lane, Deja Redding, Ashley Ross, and Nadia Sutherland. Just in conclusion, I want to kind of echo what Ms. Mathis has already shared with a quote from the poet Jaya John. He says, quote, "She wanted peace, so she forgot all she was taught and remembered herself." She wanted peace, so she forgot all that she was taught and remembered herself. And that's from Jaya John. So acknowledging that our graduates are going out into the world, or into grad programs, or into positions of power, into gatekeeping power. I want to remind all of us that we have a responsibility, not only to our communities, to our organizations, and to our families, but to ourselves. And as we're seeking out how best to care for ourselves, as we're seeking out and developing and cultivating an understanding of what peace can and should look like for each of us, we have to forget all that we were taught and remember ourselves. So good luck to all of our graduates. Good luck to their families. Congratulations to all of our graduates, and congratulations to all of our families. We're proud of you.
NCNW, again, we would like to congratulate all of our graduates. We're going to take this time to acknowledge each and every one of you guys. Shout out to the class of 2022. If you can put it in a chat what state you're from, I'm going to give a shout out DJ Neek Nice on the 1s and 2s. Hey, Houston, Texas, North Carolina, South Carolina, Ohio, Illinois, Virginia, Florida. Hey. Going to a show tonight. Atlanta, Georgia, Maryland was good. LA, Boston, it's time to celebrate. Come on, graduates. What you do?
Right foot stomp and left foot stomp. You cha-cha with your right. You cha-cha with your left. You turn to the right and move to the left. Back it up and jump. And right foot stomp and left foot stomp.
New York City, Jersey, Philly.
You cha-cha with your left. You turn to the right and move to the left.
Okay, Joanna.
Back it up and jump. And right foot stomp and left foot. You cha-cha with your right, you cha-cha with your left. You turn to the right and move to the left. Back it up and jump. And right foot stomp and left foot stomp. You cha-cha with your right, you cha-cha with your left. You turn to the right and move to the left. Back it up and jump. And right foot.
I like to see all my party people. Can we spotlight our dancers? Okay. Miss Sandra, do it.
Back it up and jump. And right foot stomp and left foot stomp. You cha-cha with your right.
Cha-cha. Who's next? Who's next? Who's next?
You turn to the right and move to the left.
Back it up.
Back it up.
Come on, Miss Antoinette.
You turn to the right.
Hey, hey.
Move to the left. Back it up and jump.
Hold up. Wait a minute. Like.
Right foot, let's stomp. Left foot, let's stomp. Freeze. Everybody clap your hands. Go, 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 go. Come on, y'all. Go, 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 go. 1990, Sharp Rock jumps upon the scene with the lean and a pocket full of green. The green doesn't symbolize I made it on the top, but robo.
Work it out, ladies.
There was a shock.
Hey.
The tone of the Popeye cut shook your butt. Kids are screaming, the media says what? Kind of music is this for you to dance to? The man with the plan and the band demands you. Leave the smack and the crack for the whack, for the ball and the knock, keep a smile like that. Leave the knife and the gun in the store and ignore temptation set by the nation. Racial game causes pain needs a new rep. In your hearts and mind, never forget you set Hawkins, and when you're walking, you don't just want black on black, remember that it's important. Anyway, the shunless one bring forth the fun, no hatred, the summer's almost done. Jump in your Jeep and pump up the funky beat, holy. Beeper goes off, yo, smash it, then trash it. You're too young to be plumped in a casket. Just get your boys and bring the noise and just swing it.
Say it.
And party people sing.
Hey. Work it out, ladies. Get your steps in. Jam on it. Wait, like.
It's driving me out of my mind.
Sing it.
That's why it's hard for me to find. Can't get it out of my head.
What you say?
Miss her, kiss her, love her. That girl is.
DJ Neek Nice.
Yeah, Spider-Man and Freeze in full effect. You ready, Ron? I'm ready. You ready, Dale? I'm ready, Slick. Are you? Oh yeah, take it down. Girl, I
work.
I sense something strange in my mind. Yeah. Yo, situation is. Let's cure it 'cause we're running out of time.
Let me see your best kid and play.
It's all so relationships they seem from the start. It's also when love is not together from the heart.
Grab your microphone, sing along with me. What you say?
It's driving me out of my mind. That's why it's hard for me to find. Can't get it out of my head.
What?
Miss her, kiss her, love her.
Break it down.
That girl is. Never trust a big button to smile. That girl is.
Old school like, wait. Shout out to the ladies at Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. Where's all my graduates at? Put your hands up like this. Come on.
You know, we've been together for some time, and I've been experiencing some kind of feelings that's changed and rearranged for the better. And I hope that you've been feeling the same way, and pray that you ain't running game. Hey, just what do you have to say?
As I'm sitting here thinking about you, suddenly I feel ashamed.
Say it.
The feelings deep inside me suddenly begin to change. When I see your face and hear your voice, I seem to lose despair. I give a lasting over.
Old school, y'all better break it down. What? Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated in the house. Where the D9s at?
Well, you seem to know what I'm saying. But let me just explain once more, okay? Check it out.
Y'all want this party started, right?
Let's go, ladies.
Y'all want this party started quickly, right?
Set it off, I suggest, y'all. Set it off, I suggest, y'all. Set it off. Set it off. Set it off. Set it off on the left, y'all. Set it off on the right, y'all. Set it off. Come on, let's set it off. Y'all want this party started quick.
AKAs representing. Come on, ladies. I see my sword one. Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated. Come on, Miss Rhonda.
Set it off, I suggest, y'all. Set it off. Set it off. Come on, let's set it off. Set it off.
On the left, on the right, on the left, I suggest while we're left. On the left, on the right, on the left, I suggest while we're left. It's a candy.
I can feel it when you walk, even when you talk, it takes over me.
What it tastes like?
I wanna know, can you feel it too?
Walk it out.
Just like
SG Rose, I ain't forget you.
It's the same feeling I always seem to get around you. There's no mistaking, I'm clearly taken by the simple mere thought of you. The start is now. The start
For Miss Beverly. Hey. We taking it back.
Way, way back.
What you say? Get your flashlights. Stay muted. Jam morning. Say it. Step it out, ladies. Step it out. Come on.
Hello, this is Sandra Cox from Durham, North Carolina. Peace.
Hold up, hold up. I'm doing a special tribute to all my 2022 graduates.
Never could have made it without you. Never,
Hold up, hold up. Rock the shoulders, rock the shoulders, rock.
Hold up. Hold up.
This is a journey into sound.
What we're gonna do right here is go back, way back. Okay, party people in the house.
I know you're gonna dig this. Now, here comes the
Sing it.
It's DJ Neek Nice.
This is how we rocking out. 22 track graduates. Come on. Sing it, sing it. Make sure you stay muted. What? What? We're gonna go to DC real quick.
One more time, baby, let me know if you're good to go. I said,
Hold up, wait a minute.
One more time, baby, let me know if you're good to go. I said,
Hold up, wait a minute, come on.
Special dedication going out to all of y'all, and I swear I hope you're having a ball. Hey, I'm getting ready. Yes I am. Good God Almighty, I get damn. So hey, baby, my name ain't Sam, and I don't get no ham horns blow. Here we go. Special dedication. going and going, and now you know when I'm the man. Everybody here just wave your hands.
What?
Your hand like you don't care. And yo, I see you out there. And if I miss you, no, I didn't miss you cause you in here. Special dedication to the people in the crowd. Kicking loud and I'm so proud that I can rock the mic. I might not be the best, but I'm the one you like. So have a ball and don't stop regardless. When I count to three, I want complete silence. 1, 2,
3.
Hold it now.
Hold it. Hold it.
Back to the funky new jack track swinging. I like everything of the people responsible for singing in the background and all that. What could it be doing without you? I'd rather be singing with y'all instead of alone. I thought that you do. So break it on down one more time, just like we used to. Hold up.
Wait up,
Is
man.
DC in the house? Say what now?
Hold on, we got Florida in the house. Cali.
Is DC in the house?
Georgia. Jersey. Where they at? Where you at?
Texas.
Texas, Houston, come on, let's go. Where you at? Where you at?
Hey.
All right.
Yeah, you guys. Yeah, you
Check it
guys.
out, ladies. Come on, Philly. What?
Walked in this place, surprised to say, a big girl get busy. Just rockin' to the go-go beat. The way she shook her booty, so looked good to me. I said, come in, big girl, won't you rock?
Be more, I see you.
Show that dance to me. She wanna do it the right. Hey, rip time, rip time. When you get the notion, put your back belt in motion.
If you know all the dance moves, I need to see you.
You're rocking with Philly's finest female DJ, DJ Neek Nice.
I don't love her. I try to tell myself, but you can see it in my eyes. So don't deny, I can't fool no one else. The truth is in the tears I cry.
Say it.
If it isn't love, why do I feel this way? Why does she stay on my mind? And if it isn't love, why does it hurt so bad? Make me feel so sad inside. If it isn't love.
Last song of the night again. Shout out to all my graduates. Say it.
Pull up to Coachella. Who's with the ghost fellas? I brought the squad with me. Black on black bandanas. I say it's champagne. I did your thing. You did Diana.
Work it out, ladies. Work it out. Come on.
Just wanted a good time. Turn around, get inside. Twirl yourself to the right.
Bunny hop like.
Bunny hop, drop.
Drop, drop.
Cross your legs, turn around and clap. Shuffle to the left, let's glide now.
Down low.
Drop it down low.
What?
Low, low, low to the floor.
Bring it up.
Bring it up, Captain Rock.
Step it out for me.
Step on, step on, step on, step on them, kick on them, don't
Slide it out. Come on.
swag the right, serve to left, work the middle till we hurt a little.
Grab grab a microphone. Again, we're gonna sing along. You're rocking out with Philly's finest female DJ, Neek Nice. Shout out to NCNW 2022 graduates. What you say?
You made me happy. This you can bear.
Get your mics, get your mics.
You stood right beside me. Yeah. And I won't forget. And I really love you. You should know. I wanna make sure I'm right, girl, before I let go.
Shout it out, come on.
Good time, that's it to say. We've hurting each other. Girl, it's a shame. I won't be foolish, no. I wanna know. I wanna make sure I'm right, girl, before I let go. Yeah. You know I thank the sun rises and shines on you. You know there's nothing.
We hear you. We see you.
Nothing I would not do.
For the solo, what you say?
Before I let you go. I would never, 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 never let you go before I know.
Again, shout out to the class of 2022.
All right, this has been such an incredible night. We couldn't have done it without all of you participating tonight. But once again, I want to thank our speakers tonight that we had. Our National President, Dr. Thelma T. Daly. Of course, our Executive Director, Ms. Janice Mathis. Our keynote speaker, Ms. Beverly Smith. And of course, our surprise special guest, our past president, Dr. Janetta Besh Cole. We wouldn't have been able to groove through the night without our DJ, Neek Nice, so thank you. You might have also seen dancing that I saw, Miss Sandra Gibson, who is our National Chair of Human Trafficking. She was in the room tonight. I saw Miss Joanne Miller, who is our Connecticut State Convener. She was in the room tonight. Miss Marie Penn, she's the Ohio BHRP Chair. She was dancing away as well. And I also saw Miss Thelma Bruce, who is the REACH Membership Committee member. So thank you to our support of some of our national state officers. Also, I want to shout out some other people who were dancing in the room that are on the committee along with me. And a special warm welcome to Miss Dominique Lowe. She is one of our high school members who just graduated, and she is going to be attending Missouri State University in Springfield. So we are wishing her well wishes as she starts her new journey in the fall. I also saw Miss Ashley Ross. She's one of our committee members, so I want to thank them for their support. As we know, this event wouldn't come together without the hard work that our committee does as well. So once again, thank you to all of our members that are on the committee with us. And of course, we know this night wouldn't be possible without our tech support. So we also want to thank our communications director, Mr. Kevin Johannes, for all of his behind the scenes and all the work that he does to make sure that our communications go out, our emails, our flyers. We couldn't have done it as well without him. So once again, congratulations to all of our 2022 graduates, whether you're graduating from, I've been seeing pre-K, kindergarten, middle school, elementary, high school, college level, whether that's a grad program or a PhD program. We just want to congratulate all the grads as we once again know the hard work that has gone into producing those results to get to that finish line. We know it couldn't have been easy, especially during this pandemic, from virtual to in-person to canceling classes probably throughout. And we know that you stayed focused on that goal, which we've heard so much tonight from our speakers about how important it is that you accomplish this goal. So once again, thank you to our audience, our members, our affiliates, family, and friends who have also shared in this occasion with us. We couldn't have done it without you, and we know our graduates as well couldn't have done it without your support. So thank you once again, and good night from NCNW.